George is driving, but I'm gonna flip the camera in a minute. I just wanted to follow up from yesterday's hijinks with the Google phone that turned. I'll say it that way.
Brand new in the box.
Brand new in the box. Yeah, it wasn't the bee's knees. Hey, Danny, how's it going? We are on the road and heading to Nashville for departure to
Appraisal fair, yeah.
Appraisal fair this weekend.
Yeah, I'm doing an appraisal fair in Washington State, a little town called Centralia, halfway between Seattle and Tacoma. I got my start in the antique business there, and they still have me back to do this every year, and we didn't get to do it last year, so I'm excited about that. And I've got some consignments to pick up, and I need to visit my mall spaces. It's been a while, so I will be in Washington State, and I guess this is supposed to be an announcement about the month. Then I'm taking time off, and there'll be videos, and maybe some live stuff, but it's going to be a little more spontaneous. And at the end of the month, then I'm looking to do a show in Allen, Michigan, which is in Grand Rapids. So that's my summer vacation.
Yeah, the live stream that we tried yesterday obviously didn't work. If you were around for that, the phone overheated after 10, 15 minutes. It was just, wasn't gonna work. Yeah, it wasn't because of it. Good old Verizon. Anyway, Obi, where'd you go? Well, we're back. It's Verizon. It's technology.
I guess a lot of people.
So let's see. And we're back, yes. And we're back.
Yeah, we might stay back. We're getting close to the crest of a hill. We really are in the biggest.
You don't have to look over to be safe.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm looking ahead and over a little bit. It's pretty rural. A lot of farms out here. There's a very good flea market about 20 miles to the east every Tuesday in Greenville, Kentucky. If you're ever in the area, I recommend it. There's always interesting stuff there.
Yeah, this is actually going to be a new interstate spur connecting to 69, and
a lot of the Amish live outside of there, and it's a fairly recent phenomenon, actually. A lot of Amish moving here, a lot of moving out of Pennsylvania in order to honestly, in part, to mix the gene pool a little bit, and also because the Amish are
way cheaper
growing, and it is cheap. Yeah, well, Pennsylvania can be cheap in places too, but
not Lancaster.
No, and not like Kentucky. That's for certain. So anyhow, yes, I've got the only vintage I have in the back is a big metal suitcase full of a bunch of old vintage clothes and some the nice red Costa Boda base that's really cool. It undulates. I had one earlier I sold online, so you can
yeah. So look at that
empty
van. It's a rare moment.
Yeah, well, yeah. The thing is all of this is coming with me on the plane, and that's the reason I'm flying Southwest, because you get 2 free bags, and you can take a carry-on, and you can take your personal item, which can be a big briefcase. So I'm able to actually carry quite a bit of stuff back and forth with me, and that makes it a much better deal, of course.
Hey, we've got 6 people watching.
Woo, that's great. So, yes, let's see, what else did I bring? I brought, let's see, I have a little badge that I brought that's from the Olympics when they were in Atlanta, Georgia in 1996, and I'm going to put that on eBay. I just haven't had a chance. I figured it's something I could do all the way. I have brought, a bunch of old games, those bookcase games from the 1960s. One of them is about being a mobster, and it's got a great graphic that looks like something out of a 1920s movie.
At Rummageopedia.
Hey there.
Yes, we're on the road. I am driving the van back from the airport.
Oh,
George is getting on the plane to head to Seattle.
yes. Yes. And let's see, what else am I taking that is vintage and
Yeah,
interesting?
he's going out there to do. If you're just joining us, he is. I'm gonna flip the camera around. He is actually heading out to do an appraisal fair in Centralia, which is halfway between Portland and Seattle on Interstate 5. It is an antique destination. And tell us again what the hours are of that.
The appraisal part usually is 10 to 3, I think is kind of a typical time. And I may be there a little longer if there's a lot of people. It's just where you come up and I'm going to be at a table out in the middle of this antique event. It's a street fair antique show, and there's all the shops in town are participating too and having sales and stuff. So it brings a bunch of people, and I sit at the appraisal table, and people can come up at any point. If there's other people in line, you can listen to what they have, or you can walk around and look at the other stuff and then come back. So it's nice and casual that way. I think they charge $5. It's $5 for an item or $6 for 2, I think, as a donation, because they use it to help renovate the downtown and fix things up. They're doing a huge renovation of the Fox Theater. Actually, Centralia's come a really long way. When I first moved there, there were 45 vacant storefronts, and the average income was less than the state of Mississippi. And that was because Mount St. Helens had blown all the lumber away and there were no jobs. And then the factory stores and the antique industry discovered that it's this great place right by a freeway halfway between two major cities, and the downtown completely renovated itself around that. So it's pretty neat to see, and I think that we usually have some interesting things come there. I notice in the smaller towns that we sometimes get more interesting things at appraisal fairs than in the big cities. I think part of it is that people in the big cities tend to move around more, and so they get rid of their stuff, and people in rural places, a lot of times the family's been there for 3 or 4 generations. So I'm always curious to see what'll come. I've been doing this one for about 20 years, which is amazing to think. So basically, as long as I've been an appraiser. There's a guy, a friend of mine named Harry Rinker, who helped found Worth Point, actually, and he is a very knowledgeable appraiser, and he came out and did it the first year that they had this event, and he's a great guy, but he is very much matter of fact. I'm going to tell you, and he had a woman who had a practically brand new doll that was worth nothing, and she kept insisting it was Victorian, and he finally kind of told her off in front of about 50 people, and that was the end of that. So I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, and then as we said earlier, as George said earlier, he's going to be out there about a week, and then he's coming back to Kentucky, and then we are taking somewhat of a break from there's still going to be videos, there's still going to be premieres. I want to make sure that people know that, but we won't necessarily be in the chat. That may or may not happen depending on where we are, because we're going to get away and potentially be where the signal is bad, things like that. So,
but if the signal is good and we see something fun and interesting, we are going to try to do a few live broadcasts, and it's probably going to be kind of random like this. It'll just pop up. So
yeah, and when we're talking about premieres, we're talking about over on the main channel, not this channel. So if you don't know about the main channel, that's just the Antique Nomad. It's down in I think a link is in the description, and